Buckle up. Buckle up. We're going to talk about Twitch. Let me get up here. All right. I am prepared now to talk about Twitch. I will let Asmongold talk about it. First off, Twitch, they're feeling the pain from all the competitors now because everybody's leaving Twitch. By the way, I am currently streaming on Twitch. I don't like that I'm streaming on Twitch. I'm an older dude. I got everything set up. And you know what, us older dudes, we hate change. We just do. You know, we're programmed to function in a manner where we just want to go about life at the easiest possible. It took me forever to figure this out. Forever. All the buttons, you want me to change it? You want me to change it? It's too much work. Now let's see what Asmongold thinks.
Previously prohibited, but now allowed with label. Erotic dances that involve disrobing or disrobing gestures such as... Holy shit! Popular dances such as twerking, grinding, and pole dancing are now allowed without a label. All right!
You know, they were so, like, listen, Twitch was so on it with every single rule. They had rules on top of rules. Twitch had rules for rules. I'm not even joking. There were subsets of rules for Twitch and how to be a Twitch streamer and what to do as a Twitch streamer. And now look at them. Now they're easing all the restrictions off because there's so much competition. They're losing. They're getting their lunch fed to them because of all the competition. Now it's free game. Now look at them. Now look how the rules just shed right off.
Dancing are now allowed without a label. All right. Is Twitch back? Guys. Ooh.
Of course.
Fresh, hot off the press. We've got something. We've gotten feedback that our policies around sexual content are unclear, so we've drawn clearer boundaries between what is and what isn't permitted on Twitch.
There's going to be a naked stream,
by the way. We also recognize that not
stream.
Everyone wants to see certain content, so we're updating our criteria.
I can't even listen to these rules. They're just like I'm a guy who loves chaos. If you couldn't tell that, I love chaos. Maybe organized chaos, which is a contradiction into itself, but I do love chaos. Anytime I hear rules, I just go bleh, bleh. Like I just start to get I get upset. I feel like I'm an anarchist.
Criteria for homepage recommendations. Holy fuck.
We are having a naked stream, by the way. Next year we are going to have a naked stream. You're going to be naked. I'm going to be naked. I know I'm not going to be able to see you naked, but you know you can post those pictures in Discord. That's fine. Also, you know, I believe in you. I trust that you will also be naked.
Okay, let's read it. Oh, this is just an image of the same tweet. Okay, let's read this one. Updating our approach to sexual content.
Right, James.
And content classification labels.
Walmart.
Uh-oh. We've received consistent feedback from streamers that our current policies around sexual content are confusing and that it can be difficult to know how their content will be interpreted, how they'll be interpreted based on these policies, which is very true. It's extremely true. We want streamers to feel confident that they understand our rules and viewers to feel like confident that they will experience and expect. To accomplish, we are making 2 changes effective today. Streaming our policies against sexual content and updating criteria used for homepage recommendations. Okay, here's number 1. To be effective, policies need to be easy to understand so the streamer knows what is allowed on the site and what's not allowed. Part of the confusion comes, this is not true. I'm going to stop this right now. Everybody knows what's sexual content. Everybody knows what is and isn't allowed. Sometimes people pretend like they're not doing it, but we all know what it really is. Number 1. So yeah, that's what I think. Pretending, yeah, it's always people, exactly, stop being dishonest. Yeah, people are just so dishonest. Part of the confusion comes from the fact that there are currently 2 separate policies in the community guidelines that address sexual content. There's also an additional section in the content classification guidelines. So basically what they're saying is that going forward, the sexually suggestive content and sexually explicit content policies will be consolidated into the sexual content policy. Okay, great. While
sex never sounded so boring.
Consolidating new policies, we've removed portions of the policy that closely resembled language in the content classification guidelines. Okay, so this is all nice. Okay, Accurate content using CCLs. Believe that some restriction on former policies are no longer required. In addition to providing clarity, these updates will also reduce the risk of inconsistent enforcement and bring our policy more in line with the other social media services. Okay.
What they're saying is they're going to be more lax because they've got too much competition and they're losing too much revenue as a company. And so they're going to be more laxed on it. They're going to let a lot more sexual kind of things happen on the platform.
The FAQ below provides a high-level summary of some of the changes. You can find a full policy language. Okay, so this is number one. A lot of that was just, basically, this is just bookkeeping, right? They're saying it's hard to understand what you can and can't do because you have to look 3 different places to find it. Very true, very correct.
So we're adding a 4th place.
Good change. Number 2. Content recommendations for the homepage. We recognize that not all members of the community want to see certain content, even if it's properly labeled with a content classification label. When a CCL is applied,
we're having a naked stream in celebration.
CCL is content classification label. Okay, I understand now. Viewers must provide explicit consent before they can start watching the stream. Okay, and this is like, 18 plus. However, if labeled streams are shown on a Twitch homepage, viewers may still see content in stream thumbnails that makes them uncomfortable. So this is what they're talking about. They're talking about you go to the following page and you go to the For You page and you have this situation. Now, obviously, this is a W recommendation because I watch streams like this, but there are other people who get these recommendations who don't.
Notice how all the hot tub streams come up for Asmongold based upon his past viewing experiences.
So we'll go back to what they're talking about. And but that is what they're referring to. We want to make sure that the homepage, which is often the first page that viewers land on, is more aligned with viewer expectations. To address this, we are updating the criteria used for homepage recommendations. Streams that are labeled as drugs, intoxication, excessive tobacco use, violent and graphic depictions, gambling, and or sexual themes will no longer be included in homepage recommendation shelves due to the visual nature of these topics. Massive fucking W. This is exactly what I said they should do. And by the way,
I don't know how big of a W it is, considering the fact that just because they're not being shown on the homepage does not mean that people are going to gravitate to it still. I mean, it's just like human instinct. People want to go see boobies. People want to go ahead and they want to like gamble. People going to be people because people. Just because they're not shown on the homepage doesn't mean that that's going to like limit the amount of viewers that they're going to get, because just people are going to be people, period. Whether it's on the homepage or not. I very rarely even look at the homepage on Twitch. I just go to people that I know that I like, and that's where I go. Like, I don't know how many of you guys are using homepage on Twitch as opposed to, say, like YouTube. I think like people are using YouTube's homepage a hell of a lot more than Twitch.
I think you should be able to turn this off. I think it should be on by default, but you should be able to turn it off.
Which would not be hard to do, because you could literally write it in the code to X out the content that you do not want according to the categories being streamed on Twitch. This is not rocket science. Like, you got these people here that are completely brain dead on how to allow this on the platform and at the same time kind of like slap on the wrist and allow it at the same time. Before, it wasn't even allowed. I don't know if I agree with like all the practices. You know my stance on booby streamers. I think it's deplorable. Like, I think girls that get on stream and show their boobies like they're not showing their boobies to get those biddies, I think it's kind of deplorable. Like myself, I've talked about it in the past. I've gotten kicked off this stream for talking about it, and I will continue to talk about it. Nobody is going to censor me. I don't care what platform I'm on. I'm going to talk about things that I want to talk about, however I want to talk about them. And if I get kicked off the platform, oh, well, I don't care. The platform has to revolve around what it is that I am as a person, or I'm not going to be on the platform. Either they're going to kick me off or I'm going to leave it. And I've had a lot of times where I've thought, I am so tired of Twitch that maybe I'm going to go over to Kick. But now, because there's so much competition, what's ended up happening is they're completely being lax because they're losing the revenue. We understand what's going on. Adults understand. People know what's going on.
If you choose to. If you want to see Gamba, if you want to see boobs, turn it off. but it should be on by default. This is extremely reasonable and very good.
Oh, they've done
Streams
it in the
labeled
past,
as mature rated games and profanity will not be affected by this update unless the streamer has also selected one of the labels above. Okay, so games, like basically mature rated games, will not be categorized this way. Viewers can still search for or go directly to channels that are streaming the labeled content on the left bar and homepage.
I'm already tired of it. Like, I'm telling you right now, I'm already tired of this content. I'm tired of it. I deal with it. I've dealt with this all my life, being on Twitch, streaming with this. I'm just tired. I'm tired. You know, it's kind of easy to figure out if you're an adult what you're looking at. The problem is for those that aren't adults. The problem is for those that are kids. And in that case, I would just say be a better parent and be aware of what your kids are watching, for God's sake. And that's like that's a parent problem. You know, like, you got to be somewhat active as a parent, and you got to realize what kids are up to, and you got to limit that shit and cut it off. If little Timmy's watching the Boobay streamers, you got to be like, Timmy, you know, you're a little young right now to be watching those Boobay streamers and those hot tub parties. You got to be a parent. You got to step up and be a parent. This is all common sense stuff, man. All common sense stuff.